Good afternoon and welcome to Chargers Outside Zone. I'm Chuck.
I'm Thomas, and today we'll be talking about Chargers' bold predictions.
Yeah, so, we always talk about this is a father-son hobby. Today it's more of a family affair because my wife, Thomas's mom, contributed an article for content for the show. It was from Sports Illustrated. 100 bold predictions from Connor Orr. So we have the cover there, but that is the topic for today.
I did not be
Yeah, so I pulled 9 or 10 of the bold predictions out. Most of them are Chargers related. We'll get more into that. But first, this is a father-son hobby, today a family affair. We focus on long-term team building. We are not experts, no gambling or betting talk, and we do our best to stay away from hot takes.
And once the, fantasy football starts, we will not be talking about...
We stay away from fantasy because we're not really experts there either. But, so this is the article that my wife and Thomas's mom sent to me. Here's the cover, and it's from Sports Illustrated.
It's a pretty cover.
100 NFL predictions for 2022. He's got it's Connor Orr. You have the link there on the screen there. And Apple News.
You should have it in the description.
We'll go ahead and put it in the description so everybody can link to it. On the cover, he gives away his Super Bowl Bills over Packers. We'll see if that happens. Aaron Donald will get all the dollar. And I think that's already happened, right?
Which today? He did today.
Or yesterday.
Or yesterday. I don't know.
So far, Connor's on a good streak there.
2 out of 100.
And then he says Gronk will soar, but Cooper Kupp will not. And those are the big headlines of this.
That is more hot takey than we've ever been.
So I went through the article. I pulled out 10 of the predictions. I have not shared them with Thomas at this point. He'll be learning about this the first time I read them. And we'll get his instant take on these bold predictions that I've pulled out. So, with no further ado.
Yes.
The first one here was number 25. The 2022 Coach of the Year will come out of the AFC West. He says here, just to add some flavor to this epically hedged prediction, my early leader in the clubhouse is Broncos coach Nathaniel Hackett, who, with a new quarterback and improved defense, has the best chance of transforming a franchise overnight. He goes on to say Brandon Staley, Josh McDaniels, and Andy Reid are always a threat.
I don't think the 2 new head coaches are going to... I don't think the 2 new head coaches are going to get Coach of the Year.
Well, I think his bold prediction is that we'll come out of the AFC West.
I agree.
So it's one of 8 divisions. It's projected to be the best division, the most competitive division.
Yes.
So right there, the winner of the AFC West positions themselves
to be the coach of the year.
To be the coach of the year. The Broncos did not make the playoffs last year, obviously. Nathaniel Hackett is new. Josh McDaniels, the Raiders made the playoffs last year, obviously, but has a chance to improve there. Andy Reid is always a contender. If the Chiefs went 15-1. If they finish 10-7, probably unlikely for an Andy Reid to win it. Brandon Staley has a chance because team that didn't make the playoffs finished 9-8. If they if they have a 14-3 record, positions themselves well. If his
Yes.
defense is a top 3 defense, top 5 defense in the league,
Top 10
so
ish.
I would go along with this prediction here.
Yes.
You like it, so you like it.
I like it. I just find it more likely that
It's Brandon Staley or Andy Reid versus a Nathaniel Hackett or Josh McDaniels.
yes,
Understood. All right.
it's going to be the two head coaches with the most experience in the division.
Okay.
And when I mean experience, I mean Brendan Staley has 1 year under his belt.
Right. And so, like we've talked about in previous podcast, second year, not installing new,
Yeah.
sets them up better to win. Yeah. So
Yes.
I think the key is the winner of the AFC West will have gone through a pretty rough slug of games throughout the year and deserves consideration, right?
Pretty rough slate of 17
17 games and will be
games.
well deserving if they win. All right, you ready to move
Yes.
on?
Yes.
All right, the next one. Joey Bosa will lead the NFL in sacks. It's time for a Bosa revival, if we can call it a revival, given that he's made 3 straight Pro Bowl appearances. Just 26, Bosa seems to have aged out of our collective consciousness when we debate the best pass rushers of our time. Having Khalil Mack and Brandon Staley move the chess pieces, having Khalil Mack and Brandon Staley moving the chess pieces around for him will open the floodgates. Thoughts on Joey Bosa leading the NFL in sacks?
I could see it, but I need to see him on the field
Okay.
to be like, oh, the defense is going to work.
Okay.
Oh, he's going to be very good in sacks.
Yeah, so let's go through Joey's stats, just courtesy of Google. I'm not sure where these are coming from, but in 2016, he had 10.5 sacks. 2017, 12.5. 2018, 5.5. 2019, 11.5. 2020, 7.5. And in 2021, 10.5. So his high water mark is 12.5 sacks. Now, the other piece of the puzzle, let's say Joey has a great year and his sack count goes up. How far is it going up from 10.5, 12.5? Can he get to 16? Can he get to 17?
Yes, because he won't be the only one on the field being blocked.
Well,
being needed to double block.
Yeah, won't be facing
double teams.
Double teams, correct. But the other part of that is what if sacks are if Khalil Mack has a big number of sacks? That could take away some sacks from Joey. That could split some sacks, half sacks as opposed to whole sacks.
I think both will be prosperous in this year.
Yeah. The other aspect of this thing is last year, TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year, had 22.5 sacks.
Okay.
That's 10 more sacks than Joey Bosa's highest total.
Yes.
So, will TJ Watt regress? Probably.
Probably not.
Will he regress so far down that he doesn't get to 15 sacks, 16 sacks.
Okay.
So not only does Joey have to increase his, his production of sacks, getting home,
Yes.
getting the quarterback on the ground,
Yes.
but I think he might need some help in a regression from some other players. And you also have, what's Micah Parsons in Dallas going to do this year?
What's Mr. 99 for the
Aaron
Rams
Donald
going to do?
What's Aaron Donald going to do?
Yes.
What's his brother, Nick Bosa, going to do?
Yes.
Um,
So it's going to be a very competitive edge rusher.
as far as who's leading the league in NFL sacks.
Yes.
Good for Connor Orr here. He picked somebody. He's projecting a good season for Joey Bosa. If this happens, this will be great for the Chargers.
Yes.
I'm just
And
not thinking it's very likely due to other factors outside of Joey's control.
his control.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Yep.
When we talked about the Raiders, I kind of mentioned I thought that Josh McDaniels might be one and done in Las Vegas. And so this number 42 prediction is one of the 3 oldest coaches in the NFL will have leaked their long-term retirement plans. Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, and Andy Reid have been in football for most of their sentient lives. One of them will plan a trip to Paris in the fall for 2025 with eyes of watching the sun come up and drinking a cup of coffee on the dock of their previously unused vacation property.
I think that's Pete Carroll.
You're going Pete Carroll. I still say for some reason, for me, I think Bill Belichick leaves the Patriots or moves up into the front office, is not the head coach of the Patriots in 2023. But you're going Pete Carroll.
Yes.
So we're both buying this prediction.
Because Pete Carroll has no Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Has nothing.
Well, and it might not be Pete's decision, right?
Yeah. I mean, how long is the leash?
Yeah.
you
So
think?
so the Seahawks they
They
decided
missed the playoffs
well,
last year.
and where were they for the first time in Russell Wilson's career? They didn't have a great record.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll, won that battle. He stayed in Seattle. Russell, obviously, in Denver.
So
So if the Drew Lock experiment and the Geno Smith experiment doesn't pan out,
yeah, I mean, how long is the leash? You think?
yeah, you would think it would before the season. You would think it would be quite long. The city of Seattle and the Seahawks suffering a terrible season. That leash could shorten pretty quickly, right?
I mean, that leash is pretty short in my eyes.
Yeah, I think in Andy Reid announcing leaving retirement plans,
Isn't going to happen.
I'm not
at
seeing
least
that
for
in
2 years.
Yeah, you may see a transition at some point to an Eric Bieniemy, but I'm not seeing it for him unless something health-wise comes up.
Drastic.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're both buying this for different reasons,
Yes.
and we will continue on. The next one. Okay, you'll get an understanding of why I had number 47 in here. Teams will become desperate for 2023 mid-round picks as the realities of the 2023 free agent market take hold. It continues here. This is not going to be a great class of veteran players. While the trendy personnel strategy of late has been to double down on established stars, The list of available stars will send a few GMs looking for resources elsewhere. So
what? Why?
So I included this in our bold predictions because of the Chargers signing J.C. Jackson in free agency, trading for a Khalil Mack, signing a Kyle Van Noy, signing a Bryce Callahan. You know the offseason that the Chargers had.
You think we're going to ship
No,
some players?
No, I think I think you know, with looking out at the 2023 list of free agents,
okay,
I think it's great that the Chargers got J.C. Jackson, Kyle Van Noy, Bryce Callahan, Khalil Mack in the building, and they're not
that tight end.
Gerald Everett, right? Sebastian Joseph Day, Austin Johnson, all those
and the other Patriot player.
Not coming to mind at the moment.
The one
J.C. Jackson?
The one that
Kyle Van Noy
wanted to stay in L.A. because the family.
The linebacker Kyle Van Noy. Yeah. So yeah, my point with bringing this in is all the offseason moves this year, the free agent signings this year.
Yeah.
I think that positions the Chargers well. It was good that they got those guys under contract, and that they're not dependent upon a strong free agent period in 2023.
So you think the window's wide open for 2 years?
Well, I'm just glad that the players they signed are in-house and that they're not dependent on a 2023 free agent market. Because if you had to sign players next year and you had a bunch of salary cap, what are you going to do if there's nobody there?
Draft players.
Yeah, you got to go to the draft. That's the only way it's going to happen. So good on Tom Telesco. I don't know if that was the reason he was super busy this offseason, but yeah, I like having those guys in the room.
Yes, that was a random.
That prediction was random.
One.
All right, this one will be pretty obvious why it's included. Number 56, the oft-copied outside zone offense will reach its threshold. With nearly 40% of the NFL now running a scheme inspired by Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, we will begin to see its most effective tendencies beaten back by defensive coordinators who have had 3 years of prep to stop it. Now, we, of course, here at Chargers Outside Zone, want to see the outside zone offense as prevalent as possible, right?
Yes.
Because it's in the name.
Yeah. I'm not sure how you beat the outside zone run scheme.
Yeah.
But
well,
like with Patrick Mahomes, you had 2 high safeties.
Yeah, they came in with 2 high safeties. I think the key here is if the majority of the NFL is running some version of outside zone, then you're seeing outside zone runs on a week in, week out basis, and your players, are more comfortable with what they see and where they need to be to stop it. That doesn't mean it'll go away completely. Kind of probably like the RPO. It won't be an entire offense for like the Eagles, but it'll be a portion of every offense, like the RPO, and so it'll just add to the mix. Now, probably won't see one team so outside zone heavy, but
dependent.
But like I said, here at Chargers Outside Zone, we want to see it as much as possible.
We want to see it as much as possible.
All right, moving on. 65. 2022 is a year when the NFL's quiet early retirement problem will become a loud one. Underneath all of the full throttle entertainment, there are players who continuously deal with incredible amounts of stress, outside pressure, death threats, social media poison, politicking head coaches and owners who are not used to treating individual people like people. Ali Marpet, Andrew Luck, Patrick Willis, Chris Borland. Borland and Marpet both left football specifically to work in mental health. It's a trend that will continue the more we uplift player stories about finding a rewarding and purposeful post-career plan away from a sport that gives but also takes significantly. Now, I am all for players playing as long as they want to.
Yes.
Or players walking away when they want to.
Yes.
It is their decision. It's their bank accounts, their happiness, their health, all of that. I don't really see anyone specifically on the Chargers that I would guess would be an early retirement.
I'm not thinking of one.
Right. But, something to keep an eye on as the season continues.
But, like, Aaron Donald's one that came up this year.
Yeah, the Aaron Donald situation, you and I have talked outside the podcast. You don't really hire a new agent to retire from football, right?
Yeah.
So
it was a money issue.
He wanted more money. He wanted to play. And, yeah, he's going to do that. Now, is there somebody else, that's in camp this year somewhere in the league that goes ahead and says, hey, I'm hanging it up? Maybe. We don't know who's on that list. But like I said, it doesn't appear to be anyone on the Chargers. But something to keep an eye on.
I think, honestly,
yeah,
most players will use it as leverage.
Can be used as leverage, and yeah, maybe they
like with the Russell Wilson wanting 5 years,
$250 million.
Yes, he'll say, "Hey, retirement for you."
Yeah, the one thing about Russell though is he's still at like $35 million a year, and there is a big difference between
one more year.
Yeah, there's a big difference between $50 million and $35 million.
Yes,
but at the end of the day, $35 million is a lot of money to walk away from, right?
Yes.
So, all right, let's number 80 here. Brandon Staley will become the NFL's best fourth down head coach. For anyone who thought a few high-profile misses were going to tame Staley, think again. The Chargers coach was third in the NFL in fourth down attempts a year ago and will rank number one in 2022.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement here.
With this one, because even with Brandon Staley's misfires,
yep,
he didn't really shy away from it, even though the noise from the media told him to.
Right. He stuck to it.
He was like, YOLO.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is with the offense in its second year, with the defense, if it trends where we're projecting it to trend, then I think situationally the fourth downs will be different. So like last year, on occasion, he went for fourth down, maybe trailing in a game in the defensive side of the field, whereas in 2022, he may have a lead be
he might
on their side of the field, or on the plus side of the 50-yard line, and going for it on 4th and 2, 4th and 3, by a touchdown or 10 points.
He might madden it.
Yeah, I think this comes true in the fact that really just stepping on the opponent's throat, putting the game away kind of thing.
And breaking the neck.
Yeah. Sorry to get too Mortal Kombat there. finish him.
You said
Yeah.
step on.
All right, number 83. Devonta Adams will post more than 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. No Aaron Rodgers, no problem. The Raiders import will have a fine first season in Las Vegas, enjoying the trappings of a Josh McDaniels system that gets him the ball with space to run.
Again, I think I need to see this on the field.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a lot of targets because it's him, it's Hunter Renfrow, it's Darren Waller. Zay Jones and Brian Edwards are gone.
Not a lot of depth at
so I think
wide receiver.
I think he's going to get plenty of targets.
Yes.
He's likely to catch 100 receptions. If he catches 100 receptions, he's got to have 12 yards per reception. And 1 out of every 10 catches is a touchdown. I think this is easily achievable. More on the on the lack of receivers.
Yeah.
On the Raiders.
Yes.
The other thing is,
Yeah.
he could very easily catch these numbers if the Raiders are trailing
Yeah.
a lot this year.
Garbage time.
Yeah, putting up garbage yards and garbage touchdowns. So, yeah, we're pretty confident this is going to happen. And then
Yes.
the last one here, Justin Herbert will lead the NFL in passing yards and touchdowns. An MVP caliber season out of Herbert in Los Angeles will result in a career high in touchdowns. Previous high was 38. And a career high in passing yards. Previous high 5,014.
Yes.
So we are all about this.
That is,
which leads into his bold prediction number 100. Justin Herbert will win the 2022 MVP. The Chargers quarterback is a star in the making. Despite strong pushes from Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, two-time defending MVP Aaron Rodgers, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, Herbert will push the Chargers into the postseason on the strength of a record-setting season in Los Angeles.
yes.
I think everybody that listens to this podcast and watches it on YouTube would be ecstatic if these two things happen. We all think it can happen. It's, you watch games from last year, every game there's 3 to 5 passes, that jaw-dropping plays that he makes, and there's no reason to believe that in his second year in the same offense for the first time that he's just not going to have a banner year.
Yes. Yes.
So we're buying this. Obviously, everybody out there is buying it.
Sure.
Let's hope it comes to fruition.
The only thing is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, with his Aaron Rodgers could see a regression. He could also see some people getting bored voting for him. He could also see people just continuing to vote for him because it's the easy thing to do. But without Devonta Adams, he might be in some trouble.
Yeah. So, these are the 10 bold predictions of the Los Angeles Chargers that he put.
Yeah, so out of Connor Orr's Sports Illustrated 100 bold predictions for the 2022 NFL season, those were the ones that I thought related to the Los Angeles Chargers and the AFC
most.
West. And I think, like we just mentioned, we'd all be very happy, very, very happy if Justin Herbert walked away with the MVP.
Yes.
But hey, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel,
Like
the video, turn on
comment.
notifications, because we're going to be pumping out a lot of content as chases that MVP that Connor's predicting. Also out on Twitter at LAC Outside Zone. Give us a follow and watch us there. And if you get a chance, send us an email, chargersoutsidezone@gmail.com. We would love to get an email, and we would answer any questions here. So join us every Tuesday and Saturday for a new episode, and we'll see you later.
Saturday is the Chiefs.
Yeah, as I always forget, Saturday we will be taking our early look at the 2022 Kansas City Chiefs. See you then.
See you then. Bye.